Attention! Attention! May I have everyone's attention? It's almost time, so while you're waiting, get a piece of paper out, something to write with. I don't care if it's a pencil, pen, marker, lipstick, I don't care what it is. Then get your movie ready to where all you have to do is press play and get any snacks and drinks you want while waiting, because we're gonna have a blast once we start. Enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Hope everyone's having a fantastic night. We are going to be watching Star Wars The Bad Batch Episode 13 in just about 2 minutes here. So what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are just as excited as I am. We finally got Crosshair going after the rest of the Bad Batch. They're finally on their main quest. I can't be happier. I think that we actually might see a lot more bounty hunter stuff involved. Maybe Boba Fett, which is what I'm really hoping for. Maybe more Cad Bane. I would love to maybe see their duel. And it just be a time frame thing compared to what we got in the Clone Wars with George Lucas. But anyways, guys, what's going on? Jedi Master ZJ, what's going on? Leia, Obi, No Scope, Kenobi, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. You guys excited for it? I'm pretty excited for it because we got done with this. I thought the past 2 episodes with Ryloth were really well done. There is a few questions I have about it that I don't think we're going to get answers to for a while. But honestly, I'm okay with it. I just want them to continue with... I'm really interested in Crosshair right now. Crosshair and the Bad Batch, and what the bounty hunters and Kaminoans are still going to do. Because the Kaminoans still have unfinished business, and they are related with the bounty hunters. And then we still got the Bad Batch on the run, trying to get away from Crosshair. Crosshair's trying to get them. So there's still a lot going on main quest-wise. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This is the last episode, apparently? Are you sure about that? I don't think so. This shouldn't be the finale. I believe there's 16. Where'd you get that in? Where'd you get that info, Leia? Did you see it yesterday? See what yesterday? Battlefield 2042 looked like a snack. I saw what they showed off at EA Play, and I thought it was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I really like the mixed era stuff. I think that's definitely going to be pretty interesting. I bet Bane gets back. I hope so. I really, really hope so. But we are here waiting less than 1 minute away, waiting to refresh the page. Would be cool to have an episode based on just a regular clone who convinces a bunch of regs that they're in the wrong and the rebel and break Hauser out and the rebel in battle. That'd be interesting. But there's still a few problems I have lore-wise with that. But anyways, 12 o'clock, time to refresh. Here we go. Here we go. Episode 13. Is that a Zabrak? I could be wrong with that. And it might... No. No, that's not a Zabrak. No. But anyways, it's 29 minutes, so the same length as the other one, and it's called Infested. It almost looked like a Zabrak, but it's not. It's not. Anyways, guys, just to let you know, I'm not going to be skipping the recap, just so you all know. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. This intro literally never gets old, man. Here we go. Star Wars, The Bad Batch. Infested. What's going on, Ladderson? Hope you're doing well, man. Why are they still doing jobs for Sid? Oh, there's the Pikes. That's what I thought. Crime Syndicate. Are you serious? Hunter, tell Megan no. Oh my gosh, dude. What is with Sid? I don't care about Sid. I wonder what species that is. Like what species Ruby is? Yes, we will. I swear, man, if the next episode is like trying to get more spice or something. I take that back. They're gonna do the spice this episode, or maybe not. Maybe might start it, and the next episode they're gonna try and get the spice back, trying to get Omega. Maybe, unless they do it all in this episode, which is what I'm hoping. Because, yeah. Nice. Smooth. Hmm. I thought that character was interesting. Durant or whatever his name is. See, I like Omega. And that's the episode. Alright, so let's talk about it, even though there's not really much to talk about. A little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I think I had my hopes up a little too high on that. I cannot comprehend why they are still working for Sid. That blows me away. Sid at this point is just getting annoying. It feels like they're. I mean, I'm not trying to like, be down on the series because I'm actually enjoying the series so far. I'm not saying all these episodes are bad, but I still feel like not all of them, because some of them are, I feel like, the George Lucas quality, but a lot of them I just feel like are just kind of like I don't want to say filler, but I don't know. Just it's more of like the side quest stuff, you know what I mean? They've done that in Rebels, they've done that in The Mandalorian a lot. Now they're doing it here, and it's kind of like they're like, "Oh, people love it. Let's keep on doing this." And I mean, yeah, people love it, but I mean, then again, do we really have a whole lot that is like absolutely mind blowing? You know what I mean? Obviously, season 7 of the Clone Wars was really good, but even then, like, I don't know, half of that season that we got was also like side quest stuff. I don't understand why they're still dealing with Sid. I mean, the whole reason why they were in debt with her was so stupid. I forgot. The first time I watched it, I forgot the whole reason why they were in debt to her, and then I ended up rewatching it, and then I found out, oh, are you kidding me? They're in debt to her because they ate like that space popcorn or whatever they call it. That to me is really, really stupid. That they were in debt to her that much over like space popcorn that they ended up eating. Omega and Wrecker. And they finally got out of debt back in episode 10. Episode 11, it finally gets away from Sid. Kind of. It does the Ryloth. We barely see the Bad Batch. And when we do see the Bad Batch, they're doing a job for Sid. Episode 12 finishes Ryloth. We're back to 13. At the end of episode 12, we get the hook with Crosshairs, and they're going to go after the Bad Batch. And then 13, which is the one we just saw, was just the same thing with Sid. Another side quest. Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really care for that much of Sid's stuff. I don't care about Sid. I mean, I don't understand why they're even helping Sid at this point. She's just, I don't know. I don't know. You'd think they'd get more of the bounty hunter stuff and Crosshair and that area. I mean, there's what? Only 14, 15, 16, 3 more episodes left? 3 more episodes. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on it, but to me, I just feel like it's kind of a little of a, I think I had my hopes up too high on that episode, and I'm a little let down, not gonna lie. I especially the hook ending after the last one when Crosshair was supposed to be going after them. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. What did you guys think of it? It's not Clone Wars arcs quality, exactly. I mean, even with the Clone Wars, all the arcs weren't like phenomenal. You know what I mean? There were some of like stuff like this, but it wasn't always like side quest. Even the Clone Wars arcs, for the most part, the ones that even weren't mind blowing, they were main quests just in their own way. They didn't just contribute towards just one. Like, let me give you an example, right? This is Star Wars The Bad Batch. It's supposed to be focusing on the Bad Batch. Clone Wars, it got to focus on a ton of different things, so it was able to do that. I feel like this is trying to do that, but isn't doing it as well, in my opinion. I'm not saying the episodes are bad, because they're not. It's just, you know what I mean? Not that Lucas quality. Like, I personally if Disney didn't buy it, I think I'd prefer the George Lucas's content, him continuing Clone Wars over this. That's just my opinion. Is that a spoiler I smell? Well, we just watched it. But anyways, here, wait, I'm gonna read some of the chat here. The series has literally gone nowhere. If the Bad Batch didn't exist, things would turn out almost exactly the same. That is true. That's true. Ruby was the best character in the entire show. Yeah, I wonder what species that was. I thought Ruby was kind of interesting. And so was the one character, the Durant dude or whatever his name was. I thought he was pretty interesting. I'm just getting kind of tired of Sid. Yeah, if they revealed some plot or something already, Omega is Force sensitive. That honestly, I'm kind of happy that they didn't reveal that. I'm not wanting Omega to be Force sensitive because I feel like we would just run into even more lore issues. I kind of like Omega right now. I'm okay with her not having any power or, any other extra special thing because her the only reason why it would make sense that we know of so far, the information given of how she's able to be a female is because of the mutation. The mutation is her being a girl. That's her thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm okay with Omega not being super special. I mean, she's already super special. She doesn't have to be enhanced in any specific traits is what I mean. You know what I mean? They can't make anything without someone being Force sensitive. Yeah, I mean, they can. I mean, they've been doing pretty well so far. I'm liking Omega. I don't know about you guys, but I'm liking Omega. Why was there no Hauser, though? I've been waiting a week for more Hauser. I think they're done with Hauser, to be honest. I think they're not going to explain anything of what happened there, even though it breaks a lot of lore. I mean, you could even argue that it actually expands on it. But to me, one instance like that, when it goes against all of the other information that we have, so basically, if you guys don't know, the inhibitor chips, right? They're in their brain and they're programmed into the clones for them to follow orders. Okay? The fact that Hauser, whatever his situation is, it is possible that something is up with him and his inhibitor chip. But the fact that he was able to reason with the shinies or whatever, and was able to convince them to lower their weapons and disobey the orders when even some others weren't, that's where the problem lies to me. That's where I don't get it. That doesn't fit within lore. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter how strong-willed you are. The inhibitor chips, we've seen this multiple times. This is the very first time it's ever happened. And it's just happening with a normal bat. I don't know. We just need more information. There's not enough there. And do I expect them to explain it? No. And that's what drives me insane. Because that's kind of what Disney has been doing so far. They create and they do these things, but half the time they don't explain what they do. And it drives me insane. Especially when it contradicts something that we already have in lore or changes something. They need an explanation. They don't need an explanation if it's something kind of new or something that's not too big. But when they're changing something as big as Order 66, they need to explain more. And I don't feel like they're going to do that. But anyways, being a Phase 1 female clone had to be something special. Exactly. Worst episode that they have come out... Wait. Worst episode they have came out with, but is not bad. I agree. I don't think it's bad. I don't think any of the episodes have been bad. I just was disappointed. That's all. But there were 7 seasons in the Clone Wars. There's only 1 here. But here's the deal, right? I mean, that's a good point. But it's back like when I said. You can still tell the difference in the arcs, though. I'm not just comparing all of 6 seasons of Clone Wars to this one season, right? But it's just, it feels like they're just kind of like going around of what they need to do, quality-wise. I'm not saying the quality of the show is bad. I'm just saying more like the content-wise of the story that they should be focusing on, they're not focusing on. They're worrying about all these other things. No one cares about Sid except for like 2 people. Those, there's a time. No, do you guys even care about Sid? I don't care about Sid. I don't care about the missions that she got. You know what I mean? I care about the Bad Batch. That's what we're here for. That's what the show's about. That's almost like them making, right, the Clone Wars And I don't even know what can I even compare it to. It's hard to compare with the Clone Wars because it's literally the Clone Wars. They can pick anything they want and they can fit it in the main quest. You know what I'm saying? They were able to do that with bounty hunters. They were able to make bounty hunter arcs because they were a part of the Clone Wars. We're getting all these side stuff that has nothing to do with the Bad Batch. Why does Sid's quests have to include the Bad Batch, especially after they already paid off their debt with the space popcorn? It makes no sense. Why are they still there? Obviously Hunter wants to take care of his squad, but the fact that the last episode where he literally just paid back, what was it, the Syndulas or whatever, right? They went to go pay him, and they said, no, we're fine, and then they go back to work for Sid. Like, are you kidding me? That makes no sense. That means you're not just, if you're looking out for your people, that's fine, but don't act like it's because of money. You know, I don't get it. Obviously, the Bad Batch wasn't going to do the job. Omega convinced them, so I don't know what Omega's thinking. What are you thinking, lady? I know you're just trying to be nice, but come on now. What's up, Real Walderation? How are you doing? 3 out of 10? I wouldn't say it's that low. I mean, 5 out of 10 and below, I feel like, is not good. The least that I would probably put any of the Bad Batch episodes would probably be about a 6. I wouldn't say anything under a 5 or under. I feel like it's still deserving more of that because they're not bad. It's just, I don't know. I think I got my hopes up too high, and I'm not getting my hopes up high for the next one. I mean, there's 3 more episodes, guys. I mean, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we've only gotten like, I don't know, like 4 episodes of like actual stuff relating to the episode 1 of actually the Bad Batch doing what they're supposed to do. Other than that, it just feels like they're just doing all these side jobs that no one cares about. That's just me though. I don't know. The orders wear off eventually, but where have we seen that? We don't know that. That's a theory, but we don't know that. And if they're trying to make that happen, why isn't it wearing off with all the other clones as well? You know what I mean? Obviously, all the other clones are still following orders. So I feel like Hauser, I could understand they're making a special case, but the fact that he was able to convince everybody, that was another story. I want the Clone Rebellion and Bad Batch at some point soon, unless there's a season 2. Yeah, they might just be trying to set up a season 2, which in that case I'd be all for. But still, I still want them to be focusing more on the Bad Batch and stuff like that, more on the quest. Like, why would they leave? I mean, I don't know. Clone Wars has also done that too. They leave a hook ending, and then the next episode won't go to that hook ending. They'll wait till they actually get back to that arc type of deal, and they'll like switch off arcs, which was always annoying because I was watching Clone Wars when it first came out as well. That was always a pain in the butt. Unless we got some 45-minute episodes for the last 3 episodes, and there is no way that there's going to be a Clone Rebellion this season, I don't believe. I mean, I would love there to be, honestly. I think that would be absolutely cool. Because Rex hinted towards it in that one episode. I forgot what episode it was. The one with Captain Rex. What was it? 6? Or was it 8? 6, 7, or 8. One of those. It was around that area. It's like being in a trance. It eventually wears off. I know you guys are saying it wears off, but where's the proof in that? Why bother to bring Cad Bane, Fennec, Rex, Hauser if they won't even come back? Like, it seems the series depends on cameos of loved characters to be interesting. I mean, yes and no. It doesn't need it, but I feel like those characters have a reason, though. It makes sense. Like, I can typically tell, at least for me, I am able to tell when it's kind of like forced and when it really shouldn't be there, and other times when it actually makes sense in the story. Obviously, they're wanting this to work, but there's ways it can work. Like Cad Bane, it did not feel forced. He was hired by the Kaminoans. It makes sense. Same thing with Fennec. And I feel like the same thing with Boba Fett as well. I feel like that's where Boba Fett and Cad Bane can be on opposite sides again. And that's when that's where they can start doing their little, air quotes here, side quest. Because it's not really a side quest. It's still in the main quest, but it's not necessarily in the Bad Batch, right? It's still within the Bad Batch, right? Because their objective is Omega, but we're seeing it from a different angle. Seeing it from Sid's angle, no one cares. Sid has no relation to anything. Nothing to do with the main quest. Nothing to do with Kaminoans. Nothing to do with the Bad Batch. I mean, obviously now the Bad Batch because they're doing what she says, but there's no reason why they need to stay there. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with the Empire. I don't know. Drives me insane, man. Why bother to bring Cad Bane? Oh yeah, I already read that. Like the season 1 arcs in Clone Wars weren't amazing. Right. But like I said, they were still focusing on like the clones and everything else, and they were setting things up. They had, heavy. Watch. Let me pull it up here. They had the whole Cad Bane thing, right? They're dealing with stuff in the Clone Wars. They're being a lot more specific here. They're dealing with the Bad Batch. I'm okay if it's seeing the opposite side, but I feel like all these Sid episodes aren't needed. It's almost like the Frog episode with the Mandalorian. I'm not against. I thought all the episodes in the Mandalorian were good. I'm not saying they're bad. I just feel like that they're kind of beating around the bush a lot of the time, and it feels like they're trying to drag it on, right? It feels like they're trying to drag it on. That's what it feels like. I mean, if they just focused on, I don't want to say that stuff doesn't matter, but in the big scheme of the actual story, it doesn't really seem like it does matter. That's just my opinion, though. I only want to know how Sid is connected to the Republic. Right, she did have a connection. But honestly, I don't even care about that. I just want Sid out of the picture at this point. She's literally just causing the Bad Batch to just go all over the place and do things that, I don't know about you. What would you guys rather see? Them do Sid's biddings for money that they just turned down the previous episode? Or would you rather see the Bad Batch, the Empire, and Crosshair? I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a no-brainer to me. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to just be a, Debbie Downer and just pull out all the negatives here, but I don't know. I'm just giving out my thoughts, and I'm just not I don't know. I think I had my hopes too high. And that's what happens, man. That's why I can't have my hopes too high. So, I mean, especially with Disney. Not to be rude against Disney or anything. They have made some really good stuff, but to me, they've made a lot more bad than good, in my opinion. At least lore-wise. They've contradicted a lot of things, broke a lot of things in canon, and drives me insane. But anyways, yeah, Clone Wars got a little boring until Maul came back and took Mandalore. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it boring. I mean, I still enjoyed it. But yeah, Clone Wars is a lot more. It has a lot more things in it. You know what I mean? They're dealing with, like it says, the Clone Wars. It's an entire era. The Bad Batch isn't an era. It's a group. It's a squad. You know what I mean? I like her. She is different. Otherwise, it would just be the Bad Batch crashing on a planet, getting in trouble, figuring out, and repeat. That's kind of how it is. That's what I mean. That's like how the Sid episodes are almost. It's almost like a rinse and repeat of the same thing. It's getting really predictable. It's not really. I mean, it's entertaining, right? It's still Star Wars, getting to see all these different side quests and stuff. But I want to see I want to get the meat. You know what I mean? I don't want just the little side stuff. I want the big picture. But obviously, that's all we want. I'm not saying we got to get that every episode, but it feels like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's only like 4 solid episodes so far out of the 12, which is about a third. Feels like the other 2/3 were just kind of, little here, little there, and enjoy it, but, I don't know. That's how I felt. Oh, I gotta catch up with chat here. All right, I'm gonna skip a few here. Crosshair sticks with the Empire, but he dies in the finale. Interesting. I don't know how this would work. I almost want. I do want. I want Crosshair to reunite with the Bad Batch somehow. Obviously, in order to do that, they need to take out his inhibitor chip. I feel like Crosshair might die at the end or something. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna kill off the Bad Batch, but it would be interesting. Or Crosshair betrays the Empire and sacrifices himself for the Bad Batch. Well, in order to do that, they would. I think I'd prefer that, but they would need to take his inhibitor chip out. people, I don't know what it is about. I mean, I'm not trying to dish on people's theories either, but it almost seems like people don't understand the full concept of inhibitor chips. Like, they're not easily just, they don't easily malfunction, or just, you know, you get a bang in the head, you get punched in the head, and all of a sudden it's good, or, you know, it just gets burned out, or whatever it is. Like, it's literally in your brain. You're going to get brain damage before that thing malfunctions, unless it's something in your brain, like we saw in the Clone Wars, a brain tumor with who was it? Help me out, guys. Who was it? Had the brain tumor. Fives helped him out, or, well, no, he ended up dying, but Fives ended up figuring the whole thing out, starting with that, and he ended up killing the Jedi because he had a brain tumor. That makes sense. You know what I mean? The Bad Batch explained what was going on with their inhibitor chips, and it also made sense. Obviously, Crosshair's got a little boost, and that's why it's functioning well again, right? They got theirs taken out now, so it's all good. But Great Jedi, did I miss a cameo? I mean, I guess that's what you would consider a worthy cameo. I mean, there was the Pikes. I feel like we've seen the Durant before. I feel like we might have seen them in Rebels. That guy in Rebels, he looked familiar. I just can't think of... He's just not that memorable, but I'm sure he's an Easter egg in something. Probably Star Wars Rebels. They're making a lot of Star Wars Rebels references. Might have been in Clone Wars, or maybe his dad. I don't know. Something to do with the name, though. He looked familiar. But, yeah, I thought the Pikes were literally going to behead that dude, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, shoot, are they really going to behead him right there? But no, they just took off one of his horns or whatever. Crosshair sounds like the new Kylo. Hey. I mean, he is one of the top villains here in the show here. It would be different and new if he stays and dies with the Empire on that hard decision. If he stays and dies with the Empire. Oh, yeah. I mean... If his inhibitor chip doesn't get taken out, that'd be kind of sad if the Bad Batch actually executes him. Because they gotta know that it's the inhibitor chip at this point. They gotta know. So why don't they just try? I don't understand why they're not trying more. I don't know. That to me makes no sense. If I was in Hunter's position, or Omega's this caring person that just wanted to help out that criminal right there. You're telling me that not even her... or the Bad Batch has been with Crosshair forever. You're telling me they don't want to try and at least help Crosshair get his inhibitor chip out, just like Rex helped them? I thought that would be more on the main quest type of deal. I thought the main quest would actually try and hold Crosshair down to try and get his inhibitor chip out. You would think. That's just my take on it. That's what I was hoping for. Whether they succeeded or not, that's a different story. But at least you would think they would try, but it's like they just completely gave up on Crosshair. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I don't get it. Tup, yes. Thank you, Jedi Master. Yes, Tup. Yeah, Tup had a brain tumor. I thought about, for fun, writing about the Mandalorian Civil War and 42 BBY, such as an interesting time period. I love that type of time period. I love a lot of the time period, especially with right before Clone Wars. Dealing with Mandalorian stuff, oh man. I actually feel like a lot of Legends stuff and comic stuff blends into my personal canon with that type of stuff, like Jango Fett. Oh my goodness, I that's definitely going to be some of the new stuff that's going to be coming out, lore video-wise, because we got the Boba Fett show coming up by the end of this year, and I want some of those videos out to kind of give some people some context, because you never know, we might actually get some more confirmation. I feel like that's one what episode was it in The Mandalorian? There was one episode that, like, reinforced some of the stuff that we knew about in Legends, which I loved. It was in Season 2. It was the one where we saw Boba Fett start kicking butt. Might have been Chapter 14, I think, where he was talking about his dad and his armor and stuff like that. That'll be the next little video, talking about that. That's another Easter egg. I love that. I love that. Boba Fett and Jango Fett, oh my goodness. Oh my, there's so much history and so much good content that they're not exploring in the shows. Honestly, I feel like that's kind of what, I don't know. I don't even know if George Lucas would explore that, because he was still working on the Clone Wars, and I would have loved that. But I don't know, man. I would have loved to see that type of era stuff. You know what I mean? For the finale, I'd rather see Sid betraying the Bad Batch and giving Omega to the Empire than Rex, Hauser, and Fennec join the Bad Batch for the rescue. But that's a copy of the Mandalorian. I don't think Sid's a traitor. I just think Sid... I think it's time for them. I think they're finally going to leave Sid. It's about time. There's 3 episodes left. It's time to leave Sid. If Sid's in the next episode, dude... Oh my. Oh my. That means they're leaving the last 2 episodes to do something amazing. I mean, they're... Yeah. It's the dude Ezra meets up with in Season 1. They steal a TIE fighter without Syndulla's permission. I knew I saw him in Rebels before. Yeah, it makes sense that he was in Rebels. I'm like, he seemed familiar. Like, when I saw the thumbnail at first, I was like... At first, I thought it was a Zabrak, but I'm like, no, that's not a Zabrak. Zabrak is Darth Maul's species. What am I saying? You know, I'm like, he looked familiar, though. And I'm like, I think I saw him in an episode of Rebels, but I don't know. It might have been Clone Wars, but yeah, that makes sense, yeah. I totally see him with Ezra, for sure. Syndulla or Kanan permission? Is it canon, though? Because Obi talks about it in Clone Wars at 15. Talks about what? Wait, it is canon, though. What about being canon? Everything in Legends about Jango Fett, at least to my knowledge, about the, you know, him dealing with, like, the middle Mandalorians, which I'll explain about. If you guys don't know the history about Mandalorians, I'd love to make a video on it. Everything fits in perfectly, even though Prime Minister Almec said that he has no idea who Jango Fett is. He's not a Mandalorian. And to his knowledge, that's true. But like they said in The Mandalorian, he is a Mandalorian, and he did have armor, and that all the way goes back to Jaster and the 3 sides of the Mandalorian. So if you guys don't know, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get into this, man. This is definitely gonna be video worthy. I'm gonna make a full-on video about this, explain. This is more than one video because there's so much stuff and good content that we're missing out here. That's what I really hope The Mandalorian Season 3 kind of dives into, even though I doubt it. I'd love some references. But anyways, there's like 3 sides. You got the pacifists, the ones that just believe in peace. They don't want to fight. Think of that as Satine, right? And you got Prime Minister Almec over there. And then you got the warriors. You got the warriors that will just want to make their name known. They are willing to fight. They want to just go fight and conquer. And conquer. You got the Death Watch. And then you got the ones in the middle. The ones that don't want to just completely be defenseless, but just don't want to go out conquering worlds. They're willing to fight when they want to. Almost like the Grey Jedi. You got the Jedi, got the Sith, and the Grey Jedi, right? And there's a whole story about how... And Jango Fett, believe it or not, was in that middle category. He was a foundling. In that middle category, they had foundlings. It was by Jaster. He was... Just his parents were farmers, you know what I mean? He ended up becoming raised as a Mandalorian. And basically, make a long story short, because I'm going to be making a lot of content on this here. All of his people get wiped out. And it's just Jango. So Jango realizes he's by himself. And it's kind of sad how they get wiped out, or at least how most of them get wiped out. It's pretty sad. By Jedi. Back when Count Dooku was a Jedi, in fact, he was leading the Jedi that ended up slaughtering them, all because they didn't do an investigation, because Death Watch was doing horrible things in the area, and basically the Jedi went to go fix it, and the Death Watch said, no, it's these guys. I forgot what they were called, but they said, hey, it's these guys in the middle. They're the ones doing all this. We're trying to help take them off. So they basically just lied to the Jedi. The Jedi accepted it, and they just legit just had this all-out battle. The middle guys between the Jedi. And that's when Jango killed like 6 Jedi with his bare hands. It's insane, man. So much good stuff. The Mandalorian Civil War? Oh, man. Jango was in the war, too, at a young age? Yes. The new Mandalorians? Yes. 100%. I love... Oh, man. I could literally just sit here and talk about it for hours, man. Oh, my gosh. That stuff is... so good. That's some of my favorite stuff to talk about in Star Wars. There's always 3 sides, no matter what in every story. But there were 2 sides fighting. The Death Watch, basically, versus the new Mandalorians. Yes, because the pacifists, the ones with Satines, refused to fight. They refused to fight. So yes, there were two sides mainly fighting because the third side refused to fight. Yes, but there is three sides. Correct. That is correct. Same at my favorite time period except for the Clone Wars. Yeah, I think I do enjoy the Clone Wars. Clone Wars is definitely my favorite era, but that's definitely up there for sure. Oh man. They need to make, I mean, I don't, I'm not even going to say they need to make, because they're making a lot of stuff right now. They're doing great. As long as they make Star Wars Visions non-canon, boom, there you go. There's proof that they got a brain. Hopefully they make Star Wars Visions non-canon. They heavily hinted towards that, but so far not confirmed, even though you would think it's a no-brainer. It's an anime. I think we saw somebody on top of an X-Wing in space. It better be not canon. Otherwise, they're just limiting the power stuff, or they're not going to do it, and it's just not going to make any sense. And then we got Boba Fett this year, and we still got Kenobi, Ahsoka. We got a lot of stuff coming, so that's amazing. That's amazing. Star Wars Visions? Yeah, Star Wars Visions is the Star Wars anime that's coming out. Oh, I forgot when. I posted on my channel. It's in their little trailer. I think September. I could be wrong, though. I mean, I'm not a big anime fan, to be honest. I'm still gonna watch it with you guys. I'm still gonna be doing a watch party and discussing it. But I'm just not a big fan of the art style, to be honest, with anime. But that doesn't mean the story won't be good. You know what I mean? And I love power level of different universes. And if you guys don't know, that's one thing that Sparty and I love doing. We love to just talk about the power levels of different universes, saying who would win against who and stuff like that. But a lot of the people that in his universes are from anime, and anime people are just buffed through the roof, and I'm like, I have to use some of my most powerful beings in Star Wars to even compete against with some of his guys, because there's literally people that can't be defeated on his end. And I'm like, okay, well, now I gotta go with people that literally can't be defeated. So hopefully Visions is just non-canon and they just do some crazy stuff. I'd love that. Just, content-wise and fun-wise, at least for me. And, Sparty and I have even been thinking about making that a series on the channel where we can actually have, like, our own universe almost. Like, or at least add on to the universe, right? Like, I would love to add on to Star Wars stuff. Obviously, it's not officially canon because it's not by Disney or anything, but at least to me. That's why I love personalized canon. Obviously, I still believe in personalized canon. Some people don't ever since Disney bought it, because personalized canon used to be like a given because there was just legends. There was no like legend. It didn't become legends really until Disney had it. I mean, there was the comics and stuff, right? But it didn't officially have that name, I don't think. It was just like everything was together and you kind of like picked and choose what worked best. You know what I mean? And what made sense, because obviously some things would contradict each other. But since Disney just came in and said, this is canon, this isn't, it just kind of like set fact and opinion. But the problem is that their freaking fact doesn't add up. It's just contradiction after contradiction. It's just like, what are you doing? Your story group the Lucasfilm story group is not perfect, let me tell you. I'm not saying George Lucas is perfect, but I'll tell you this much. He didn't have tons of contradictions over huge things. I can't even think. I mean, I don't know. There's been times where I feel like he might have done a contradiction, but then I actually think it out, and I'm like, oh no, this could have happened, right? As long as there's a way out of that contradiction. But no, Disney sometimes they just go head on against themselves. You can't think of any other way it can work, and it just bangs against each other. Compared to George Lucas, where I haven't personally seen or thought about anything that have been contradicted. That's just me, though. When is the Book of Boba Fett coming? That will be the end of this year, I believe in December, which is going to be amazing. I am looking forward to that more than The Mandalorian Season 3. It'll be like the 2003 Clone Wars. That's what I'm hoping. But the 2003 Clone Wars was canon at first, because it came out when George Lucas owned it. Like I said, there was no such thing as, that term, I guess. It was always like personalized canon. But yeah, I would love the power level to be even more powerful than 2003 Clone Wars, which is insane, man. I love that. I think late this year, but not sure. Yes, you are correct. It is late this year. They're literally having a Fury in Visions. I'm like, WTF? See, that's the thing, right? It's Star Wars Visions. And they explain in a little trailer why they call it Star Wars Visions. It's the top studios, the people in charge over there that are in charge of like the Star Wars anime, right? And so, that's in charge of it. It's their Star Wars vision coming to life in anime. That's what it is. So I don't even know who these people are. I don't even know if they know Star Wars. For all I know, I don't even know if they've seen it. You know what I mean? Which Disney thinks is okay, I guess, according to the Acolyte show. They love bringing on people with different opinions. I love that excuse, where they purposely bring on someone that hasn't seen Star Wars so they get another point of view. I saw that point of view for a second, but then I said, no, I don't really understand that point of view, really, because I think that is one of the stupid excuses ever. That's like why would you bring on someone that doesn't know the universe? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. You can literally have different points of views and opinions if you've seen Star Wars. Hello, Star Wars fans? Anyone? There's tons of Star Wars fans that look at things from different points of view and constantly disagree. Hello, sequels? Anybody home? Prequels? Hello, anybody home? Like, bro, hello, what do you mean? What do you mean a different point of view? You need to go someone who hasn't seen Star Wars. You can still see Star Wars and have tons of different points of views and different takes on Star Wars. That was one of the... Oh, man, I don't want to get into that. I feel like this is just becoming a rant now. I feel bad because it was a good episode. It was a good episode. I don't even know how I got on this like rant stuff, but I'm mad about the games. It's ridiculous. Same, man. Same. It is ridiculous. It's just in a bad spot right now. They could have at least. I mean, I wasn't even expecting it or really anything. All I was really expecting, I wasn't expecting anything until they tweeted out and teased Fallen Order. They teased it. They should have just said nothing about that. Or if they do say something, don't retweet something that has Fallen Order and EA Play when you know it's coming up within like 2 weeks of posting that. You know what I mean? And then say, air quote, it's a great time to hop back into Fallen Order. And then a week later, or whatever, however much length of time it was, say, we got no Star Wars games coming. Really? Fallen Order 2 isn't even confirmed yet. I thought they were at least going to just confirm it. They didn't need to show anything. Just say it's confirmed. That way we know it's coming. 100%. That it isn't going to get canceled or something. But no. We have to wait till next year. And chances of the game actually coming out the year it's announced, very slim. It's okay. I'm holding out hope for 2023 and 2024. It's going to be it has to be an amazing time for Star Wars, because if the big guys won't do it, the small guys will, because there's no longer any contract that we're aware of so far, and Disney's opening up the Star Wars IP to everybody. So even if the big guys won't make a good game, the small guys will, and they'll get big from that. That's the way I look at it. So there's going to be competition regardless at that point. So maybe bad now, but down the line, bright future. I see it. There's no way it can't be bright. I mean, that means every gaming company would have to be beyond stupid. And I don't believe that they're all stupid. No, I don't. This Star Wars Visions is either going to be too good or too bad. We'll just have to wait and see. To be a Star Wars creator or any universe in general should have a 200 question test about the in-universe, or like Star Wars, for example. And if they get 80 or higher, then you're hired. I mean, the only thing that doesn't make sense is that they purposely hired somebody that hasn't seen Star Wars. Purposely. I'm all for putting myself in other people's shoes and looking at their point of view, and I see it. I do. I see their point of view. Do I agree with it? No. Because I just felt like if they just thought that point of view out a little bit more, they would, and actually look at the community, they would realize that, the whole reason why they're wanting that person that hasn't seen Star Wars, you can get by that same person who has seen Star Wars. Actually, no, I take that back, because the views will be different because one hasn't seen the universe. That's like me not watching any DC movie or not know the DC universe at all. I just go in there and start saying, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and having an actual say in things. Like, no. They could give their feedback after watching something and then see if what they say coincides with the story. But having a say in things as things are being made, I don't know. To me, I feel like that's another little loophole where contradictions and where things don't make sense and things aren't explained can loop in a little bit more. I mean, they already do that now, but I mean, that just seems like a perfect opportunity for that to happen even more. Like I said, just my opinion. I know that's the truth because on an interview with Dave, he proved to understand Star Wars like on one. Yeah, Dave definitely knows Dave Filoni definitely knows Star Wars, 100%. He's probably the best one for it right now, honestly. But still, he's not perfect. I'm not expecting everybody perfect, but that's why they have a team. They're supposed to have a full team that knows Star Wars, and they work together. Just like Filoni always went to George about it, and George would tell him, oh yeah, this is great, but this isn't. There was a reason why he said this isn't. Because there was a few different reasons, and he'd explain to him, you know what I mean? But now he doesn't have that. So he's going to make mistakes, especially when he does. I'm not saying he has a bad team, but I mean, I don't know everybody on his team, but from what I can see, it doesn't seem like they know Star Wars as much as him. Not that they should, because obviously he was like the apprentice or Padawan to George Lucas, but I could just hope. I'm allowed to hope. Like I said, I'm not trying to rant on this stuff because I actually do like the direction that Star Wars is going as of now. Definitely in a way better direction than what it used to, at least in my opinion. So, props to what Disney's doing now. They're at least they're not wasting it. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're milking the cow as much as they can, but at least they're not doing it in a horrible way all the time. You know what I mean? The Kenobi series is definitely a step up, and I love that they're doing that. That's awesome. It's amazing. But yeah, the reason why I say Filoni has made some mistakes is because there's been some. I don't know if there's necessarily any 100% contradictions where it hits head on, but there are quite a few things, a lot of things actually, that don't make any sense at all, and to me at least doesn't really fit in the lore because it just makes no sense. It just feels like he just grabbed something and just said, oh, this is awesome, let's put this in, but then didn't really take the lore into consideration. I don't know. There were some things in Rebels that I was just like, what? This was made by Filoni? That's weird. But he did season 7. I love season 7 of Clone Wars. Fantastic. Mandalorian's great. I know he's not the only one working on it, but I'm sure he's a huge piece. He has done a lot on it, and I'm sure when the other directors are doing their piece, I'm sure he's, at least with them, you know what I mean? Just making sure, hey, this works. You know what I mean? They're working together as a team. But yeah, I seriously thought Visions would, a Star Wars What If or like 10 or 14 minutes episode. That'd be pretty interesting, though. I don't think that's the case, though, because it's going to be the creator's visions of anime just in Star Wars. But we'll see. I think that's definitely an interesting take. That's why Dave and Jon Favreau made such a good duo, because Dave knows the Star Wars lore, and Jon is naturally a good filmmaker. Exactly, 100%. I think they are an amazing duo. They're obviously with the Mandalorian, they're doing fantastic. Like I said, I mean, you could see it with. It's just a trend with Filoni. You know what I mean? I'm not saying what he makes is bad. I'm just saying there's you can see the difference in quality between Lucas and Filoni. That's all I'm saying. Because if you look at Filoni's work when he's doing it without going to George, and I'm not saying he's not going to George right now, but I mean, obviously he'd have to do it on the down low. But my point is the stuff that he's doing on his own, there's a trend. There's a predictability to it. There's a lot of side quests. Or a lot of, and by side quests, I mean repetitiveness in the aspect of going to this planet, doing this thing just to get their ship up and running because their ship just broke down on that planet or it needs gas or whatever it is. That happened a lot in Rebels. It happened in The Mandalorian. It's happening now in The Bad Batch. It happened in Season 7 of The Clone Wars. There's a trend. That's all I'm saying. Anyways. They should have got rid of the Martez arc and put the Utapau arc. That would have been pretty cool. I mean, obviously the Utapau thing would be kind of tricky, but I think it's possible. I feel like they could have done other things, definitely, besides the Martez sisters, for sure. But yeah. To make it perfect Season 7. But I feel like Dave has had a hard time with Rebels and the Bad Batch because he had to create something new from scratch. And in Clone Wars, every arc made sense when it came to Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. True, but that's where you have to bring out your creativity and you got to start thinking and doing things like that. But here's the deal too, right? He has a lot of inspiration from Clone Wars, and there's a lot of unfinished work from Clone Wars that he has access to, like unrendered versions. So I don't understand why he can't. I don't understand why they just decided to do one last season, Season 7, and only do 12 episodes. I don't know what the reason was behind that. To me, that was a horrible business move. But it was good. But I don't know about you guys. I mean, obviously, the Bad Batch feels like a continuation of the Clone Wars, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like he would be able to get away with a lot more stuff, is what I'm just saying if they stuck with the Clone Wars. I personally like Rebels. Binged it in 4 days twice. It is different if you are not too close-minded and just wanted to hate it. No, I was very open-minded when I saw it. And I thought Rebels, like when people say, what do you think of Rebels? This is what I say every time. It's okay. Because there was a lot of amazing things about it. But there was also a lot of things I hated about it. So that's why I say it's okay. I was definitely open-minded about it. I did not have any opinions going into it. I don't judge things before I go watch it. I can give my thoughts about what I think about it, but I don't go. I go and watch it. If I haven't seen it, I don't go judge it. But yeah, I was very open-minded. I've seen Rebels, I think, 4 times. So I am very familiar with Rebels. But there was some things that just drive me insane about it. One of the main things being the time travel stuff. Oh my, the World of Worlds. That was not, you can't tell me that was completely thought out and planned and explained. And the whole spinning lightsaber deal where they were able to fly. I mean, there's a lot of different issues. There's a whole thing, but there's also a lot of things I loved. You know, I loved the whole Ahsoka versus Darth Vader. The Bendu, oh my gosh, man. Oh, I love that so much. I love Kanan, right? I loved Maul. I loved a lot of the characters, but there was just a lot of things that just did not click. Just didn't click. And I did feel like a lot of the episodes were kind of repetitive with that same theme. Not all of them, but a lot of them. It felt like they were just like, oh, we got to go to this place. Oh, we got to do this to go to this place. And it didn't feel like it was the main. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes they pulled it off because it was with the crew. But sometimes it wasn't. So, I don't know. But sometimes some of those episodes kind of felt good as a break. So, I'm not saying it was all bad. I'm not saying it was all good. I loved Rebels, to be honest. They brought me in a way, Rebels had more iconic duels than Clone Wars. In a way, yeah, some of them were more iconic. I'm not gonna say, yeah, like the Ahsoka versus Darth Vader, that was really good. That's definitely beats some of the duels they had in Clone Wars, but I still like Clone Wars overall more, just because the ones that were bad in Clone Wars, I'd say they're bad because they weren't really entertaining, not because it didn't fit in with the lore. You know what I'm saying? Because that's two separate. I'd rather the episode in Star Wars be completely boring and it not break lore and it add to lore, compared to it being entertaining and messing something up and contradicting something, which is what Disney does a lot. They make something really good and entertaining and it's amazing, but their story group wasn't on point. You know what I mean? The most heartbreaking duel, if you understood the whole life of Maul. Oh yeah, that's another one. Maul versus Obi-Wan, that last fight, pretty good. But they also had some iconic duels as well in the Clone Wars, like quite a bit. But that was definitely one that I'll never forget for sure. Those are probably my top two favorite duels. Was between Ahsoka and Vader, and Obi-Wan and Maul, and then Ahsoka and Maul. Yeah, those duels were pretty epic, not gonna lie. And how he was always a prisoner and thrown aside for his whole life. Yeah, I love Darth Maul. Darth Maul is such a cool character, man. Such a cool character. Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna do it. I did not mean for this to kind of turn into a little bit of a rant, because I do love what they're doing. And sorry if I'm sounded a little bit negative, but I was just spitting out my thoughts as we're just having a conversation, you know? That's just kind of how I feel. A little bummed out about the episode. Definitely not bad. If I had to rate it, I don't think I should rate it right now just because I had my hopes up. So let me just, take it in how it was. I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. I think a 7 out of 10 might be, I don't know. I feel like a 6.5 because I don't think it's quite as low as a 6, but I don't think it's 7 worthy. I don't think it's worth like a passing grade. I say a 6.5. 6.5 out of 10 for this episode. Not bad. Definitely not great. But yeah, that's going to do it for this stream. Hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, actually. It's morning time. I will see you guys later, and may the Force be with you always.